Okay, level 45 Astrologian quest. You're right. Greetings, your timing, my friend, is impeccable, for it just so happens that at this very moment I have need of your assistance, while our lovely Lady Laveva has been out making herself a target for every cutthroat and cur in the realm. I have been focusing my efforts on our main objective. Training? There'll be time enough for training later. No, I speak of our ultimate goal, spreading knowledge of the Charlian School of Astrology throughout the Holy See. As you know, the Vault recently turned down my request to allow Lady Laveva to speak before them, but I am not one to be turned away so easily. No, I have a plan. I will entreat Chief Astrologian for Lamont to draw up an official recommendation. The Vault will not so quickly dismiss the words of a man of such standing. Yes, I know mine uncle loves me with a passion rarely seen even in young lovers. There's really no reason why he should aid our cause, being a staunch opponent of change and all. But that does not mean we cannot try. And if we fail, well, then we can try again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until he is so annoyed he writes us the recommendation simply to see us out of his thinning hair. And by we, I mean you. Considering how red the Chief Astrologian became the last time I visited him, I reason it would be detrimental to my uncle's health should I arrive at his place of research. And we most certainly would not want him to fall ill or collapse before he penned us that recommendation. Ay. I may have added a few and agains, but, I mean, help get across the point. Flying. How do I see disturbing me this fine day? There's John and Quinard's new scullery maid. I suppose he came here for this. John and Quinard never ceases to amaze, does he? Not only does the lout have the nerve to ask me, for aid, but he never refuses to do me the common courtesy of accepting that aid in person. Ever the entitled little shite more worried about his popularity among the fairer sex and how his actions disgrace his family's name. The slackjaw. I suppose you are wondering why in the world I, of all people, would agree to such nonsense. Well, it's simple. Allowing the heathen astrologian to dig her own grave from the entire Vault in the Ishgardian astrologian community only served to accomplish what I wished from the very start. Charlian astrology has no place in Ishgard, has no place in Orzia, has no place in this world. It is dangerous and it serves no purpose but to take our eyes off what is truly important. Using astrology to free us from the dragon menace and ensure man's return to Halone's kingdom. Leveve's dithering will only makes it that much clearer. And Jenny Quinard, perhaps this will finally spell his downfall. He's only been allowed to continue this nonsense because he is harmless. Too caught up in the luxury being in line to count de Diondair's title to actually put forth any real effort in furthering his cause. Charlian astrology is but an oddity which he can boast about at balls to get him in bed with the slatternly maids of lower houses. His father has protected him thus far, but allowing him and this lady to speak, there will be no brushing under the rug. The shame this brings forth, Jenny Quinard, will be finished. Okay. Inform me right away once Chief Astrologian. Yeah. Is this? Cannot be. It is. The seals for Lamarts. How did you? What did he say? No. Wait. Mayhap is better. I do not know. Well, it's changed everything. Oh, to arrange another meeting with the Vault. Summon the cardinals to Durandare Manor. We will need wine and sparrow stuffed pheasant and pheasant stuffed ghosts and goose stuffed chocobo and bards, a whole troop. Not to eat, of course. No, I fear I'll no longer be able to join you on Lady Leveve's next opening of the gates. Do give her my regards, though, when you see her in Mordona. Well, I guess we're heading to Mordona. So, let's go to Revenant's Toll. Oh, hello, solo instance. For once, we were not the bandit's targets. We came across this young woman as she was being dragged into the hills. But we drove her abductors away. I suspect they have already mustered the courage for a second attack. It's good you and It's a good thing you arrived when you did. The girl claims she is a student at the Athenaeum, and recently overheard Janet mention we'll be conducting another gate opening in Mordona. She journeyed here on her own in hopes of having the chance to witness your astromancy firsthand. I say we give her something to remember. I really don't remember there being this many soloists in the Astrologian line. It's been a long time since I did the Astrologian line, mind you, but still. Well, 10 to the woman's hurts. You assist Quimpinard. Yeah. Does my... Yes it does. Sweet. Send in the hungry! They are merely bandits, Arya. They cannot see things you can. They are unaware of the tragic fate which is destined to befall them. You must reveal it to them in blood. I seriously don't remember there being this many solo instances. What the heck? Didn't see this coming now, did ya? Rise, slave, and tear the bastards limb for limb. Wait, what? Well, here we go again with this nonsense. Where I will probably either forget to heal Quimperine or overheal him. There's no in between for me. Oh no. Yeah, keep your filthy hands off of her. And off of him. So convalescence is another skill that's been removed. It used to make HP recovery from it used to make you get healed for more. It no longer exists. You'll pay for that. Will I now? By killing you? Okay. Guess I could actually use fire. Nyeh. Okay. You have my apologies, Lady Liv. I did not think. Your only fault was an insatiable thirst for knowledge. A realm where one must apologize for being a victim is no realm worth living in. But why would those men attack me? I believe it is now quite obvious that these bandits were not meant for you, but for me. It would seem that certain parties fear the spread of Charlayan astrology, and will stop it not to prevent it. My Charlayan constellation chart. The bandits. It must have been torn when they seized me. Here, you can take mine. I have the stars committed to memory. I don't know how I'll ever be able to... But we'll think of something. Just you wait. We'll repay this kindness tenfold. You mentioned something about certain parties wanting to prevent the spread of Charlayan astrology. Have you any idea who they might be? I do, but I shall require more proof before I can be certain. You and Arya should be able to assist me with that. However, as I say, first things first, we have a gate to open. Alright. Let's survey the skies. Meet Ewer. Focus, Arya. Focus and let the constellation's aether twine with your own. It is said through the fifth heaven flows a mighty river carrying the water spilled forth from the scholar's vessel. And in that water is the strength of all that have come and all who will follow. The view spun from Nymea's loom, view from which might and metal is weaved. And now the power of the Ewer is forever yours, and forever shall appoint you the victory. While I cannot forgive our patron for skipping yet another of his lessons, I cannot deny that the passion hidden deep beneath his posturing may have its uses. Word of our field is spreading, and our inherent nature has begun to stir. Curiosity is proving a better motivator than skepticism and faith. Our time may come soon. At least you can see my face this time! Let's have a little tiara on instead. Not wearing a cloak. Alright, back to Jeanne Quinard. Do not tell me Lady Leveva was attacked again. I knew it, and without reading, my talents grow by the day. Was this, you claim? A fellow Astrologian was moved by my words and went to witness the unlocking? That is amazing. I wonder who could be, though. I would certainly recall speaking in detail with a young suppler. Mind. I must find this woman. Hold another special lesson with her. Lesson? Oh, that reminds me, Lady Leveva asked me to teach you a new technique before you head to open the fifth heaven's gate, which you have already gone and done. But it appears you were able to overcome your ordeal without it. It would have been useful. Yes, exactly according to my lesson plan. You still wish me to teach you the technique? Very well then. Though I do not really see the point. I do! It's super, super useful! We've learned gravity! Gravity is Astrologian's area of attack spell. Yay! So, let's compare it to White Mage's Holy here. So, White Mage has the Holy Spell. The Holy Spell is circled around the White Mage, but does not require a target and also stuns him. Gravity is, I believe, a faster cast, but it targets an enemy and all around that enemy. It's not around you. Unfortunately, because it does require a target to cast, if your target dies, your spell is canceled. Unlike Holy, if whenever you're targeting dies, your spell still goes up because it's technically targeted on you. It's just going around you. But you can cast it. You don't have to be up in the front line to cast it. And we won't even talk about Scholars. Scholars is a no cast time thing. I don't really know much about Scholars, so I don't want to bad talk Scholar, but yes, Gravity is super, super useful because it means now I can actually do something in any group poll because and not just be like, here, I'll hit one enemy at a time, bonk, 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 and be like, I got you all. So, yay, Gravity! Gravity is so nice. And level 50. Level 50, we got another useful skill, but that's at level 15. We aren't level 50 yet. We're 45 still. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Let's do level 50 quest. And then also 52 and 54 because, yeah. Loved by the Sun. Lady Leveva tells me that you are nearly ready to open the 6th and final gate. Yes, I said final. We all know that there are 7 heavens, but opening the 7th is impossible. Well, except upon death, of course. An attempt to attune to the pole star would be sheer madness and most certainly spell your doom. But look at me. Even now, attempting to tutor the great Arya, when it is obvious your talent far surpasses mine. Forgive me. Lady Leveva has yet to depart for the location of the final gate. Doubtless she fears yet another bandit attack. But whatever the reason, she remains on the 2nd floor and asks that you visit her at your earliest convenience. You have come far since that fateful day our paths first crossed in the Black Shroud, and now, here here we are, on the cusp of your attunement with the sixth heaven. Time truly waits for no woman, does it? Before we set forth on this task, I wish to teach you of a second set of stars, the Nocturnal Sect. The Nocturnal Sect contains the old celestial bodies ruled by the two moons. I say two because since the dawn of astrology, the disciples of our field have used element in their readings. Now, even after the false moon's fall, its position, or should I say its absence, yet has influence over our fates. Whereas the sun and diurnal stars represent the self-expression, the active, and the moon and the nocturnal stars represent the unconscious, the passive, Dharma represents and still does represent the uncontrollable. Its power has the ability to quicken the senses as well as provide added protection from the unknown, things beneficial when pursuing one's fate. Now, if only this were all there was to it. Alright. Spearheading initiatives. Oh yes, that's the actual ability I'm missing from not being level 50. Alright. Now that you have knowledge of the second sect, I believe you are ready to attune with the final constellation. The location of the next lesson is actually not far. I assume your travels are taking a Camp Dragonhead? Excellent. I, as always, will go ahead and make my final readings. If each of our previous outings are any indication, the bands which Harriet will most certainly jump at this opportunity. So I would have Quimperine scout the area ahead of time and report any suspicious activity to the Knights garrisoned at the camp. Let someone else bloody their hands for a change, I say. Feel free to tell Jean and Quinard of our plans, though I do not doubt he already has some of his own. Lady Lameva has already departed? Well, then she must have leaped from the window, for I did not see her use the front door. I dare say that means we will be traveling alone. Of course I will be attending. Why wouldn't I be? Because you have a history. Ah, look, solo instance. Why am I not surprised? Whew, spearheading initiatives, level 52 sync. Arya and Jenna Quinard. Well then, it appears my giving my constellation map to the Astrologian and Rathafrost was unwise, as my readings for the location of the sixth heaven have proven slightly off. However, a second calculation has shown that we are close. The optimal location lies just to the north of here in the derelict tower known as the Steel Vigil. You've the look of the learned about you. May I ask if you've seen this star map before? It was on the person of an astrologian who came to us seeking help after being attacked. That is my map, the one I gifted to the astrologian in Rothfrost. Do you mean to tell me she was set upon again? Your map? Well, then I'm gonna have to ask you to accompany me for questioning. The astrologian claims she wrested this chart from one of her assailants before escaping their grasp. Lady Laveva, why would you assault the self-same woman you risked your life saving? Because she did not, my lord. Why would you even think something so foolish? This must be some sort of misunderstanding. I was present at the assault. We saved the young maid of which you speak from a party of bandits, and Lady Laveva gave her own constellation map to replace the one damaged by her assailants. My Lady Arya here was also witness to these proceedings. Well, we have our own witnesses who say otherwise, so until we can have a trial and an educator who can pass his judgment, this Laveva will have to come in for questioning, for she herself has admitted the map is hers. It is alright, I have naught to hide, and arguing here will not bring us any closer to the truth. If anything, I wish to confront this woman who would bring false accusations against those who saved her life. Very well then, take me where you will. I shall answer all of your questions, and you will soon learn who is spouting falsehoods. My friends, you need not worry over much, for I shall be in the company of Temple Knights where no harm might befall me. I will return once I have proven my innocence. No harm, quotha. That knight was the self-same Astrologian whom we saved in Mordona. The Astrologian who now claims we attacked her. Are you saying the Astrologian was a temple knight? No, listen, my lord. I'm saying the Astrologian is no more an Astrologian than she is a knight. I'm saying we have been played. We've fallen victim to a ruse as landed Lady Leveva in the hands of those who have been attempting to kill her since she set foot in Eorzea. Then you're saying she won't be safe in the presence of those temple knights? Those weren't temple knights, my lord. However, they were wearing the colors of our knights most heavenly, and if we were to assault them this near the heavily garrisoned Camp Dragonhead, we'd be stuck full of arrows before anyone asked us why we even drew our blades. No, we must shadow Lady Leveva's captors and wait for an opportunity to take her back. How exciting! Can I take point? No, of course not. Alright, so let's actually talk on Nocturnal Sect. Yes, I say we keep our distance until opportunity rescue Lady Leveva presents itself. And I say that is what I've been trying to say all along. Now, might I ask that you keep your voice down, my lord, or it will not matter how concealed we remain. So yeah, Nocturnal Sect is the opposite of Diurnal Sect. It is our shield. It's basically equivalent to a scholar. I am back and forth. I have been definitely way more on Diurnal these days. But Nocturnal definitely has its place, and it's definitely useful if you have 2 Astrologians since, well, just better. So we have both. This is me tailing them. Oh my gosh. I'm about to just do a /follow. Follow T? It won't let me follow it! Imposter Astrologian has left the company to see to those ogres. Let us take her unawares. Very good, Arya. You may follow. So yeah, you cannot switch sections by the course, and just as I thought, this woman is the same one who we assisted in Mordona, and I do not believe she was working alone. We must continue our pursuit. So yeah, Nocturnal is your shield, etc. Basically, it puts a temporary shield on you. You can't really see it when I'm not in a party, though. It's equivalent to how much you heal. Guess I can actually, like, heal. What's his name? Quimpering. It is fortunate for us that they are on foot. If they were to make it to, say, an airship, we would have no means of keeping up. Is that an airship I hear? I'll talk more about the seals here, but it's a thing they did with Shadowbringers with Astrologian. It's gone through a few iterations. At first it was frustrating, to say the least. Not like totally frustrating, just hard to do while also healing. Now I have 3, you can see another ability just became available. The divination skill there. It is gives a buff depending on how many different types of seals you have, so you always want to make sure you do it with 3. Sometimes the RNG does not like you, even with no matter how many redraws you do. It's, that's the frustrating part. Luckily, there's on each the melee, or the front line and the back line, there is a seal for each side. So, rather, each of the 3 is on either one. I guess I don't want to go after that one. Oh my gosh. Okay, seriously, could this be any slower? Oh, that one doesn't even aggro. None of them actually have an aggro icon. What the heck? I guess I had to slay that one anyway. Well, it's dead now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Just as I expected, these fools have led me straight to the answers I've sought since my arrival in this backwoods realm. If I'm not mistaken, my trusted companion should be arriving right about... now. I'll be taking this. You lift off in that airship, the whole land will know you are not true Temple Knights, and you will be made to answer for your crimes. Once we're in the air, it will not matter what anyone knows, you fool. We will not be returning once we have slain you and your friends. No one shall stand in the way of my fate, especially not some dog's body of the form. I want Laveva, and I want her alive. Something, something. Kill the rest and leave their corpses for the wolves. So I'm assuming if I do this, it will work on everyone? Yes. As will the divination. Sweet. So Lightspeed! Lightspeed is useful for doing stuff like, say this. For moving around and casting. It's good if you have to like do a lot of casting while also dealing with mechanics, or it also speeds up the cast of your raise, your ascent. Also, the situation was apparently dire, but yeah. About that. Of course I knew the Temple Knights were false. I recognized the Astrologian we saved almost immediately, and I find it insulting that they believed I would not. I also knew that they would lead me to the true perpetrators if I played along, fully aware that you, loyal 3, would follow. And I am pleased that you also knew that we would somehow crawl our way out of that little tussle with our lives, because I was uncertain for most of the journey. Well, I was certain Arya would make it, for the stars have already told me she would unlock the 6th gate here at the Steel Vigil, the very location we ended up at, despite our unexpected ordeal. You're Janet Quinard? Well, I never bothered reading it, for I thought that you would skip the lesson like you have every other one. Arya, gaze upon the night sky and open your soul to the final constellation, the spear. The spear is the gate to the sixth heaven, where the Fury resides in a palace of ice carved by her own spear. Ice formed the moonbeams collected by the lover, Menthena. The spear fills us not only with the power to overcome our enemies, but also the compassion that is necessary to grant those same enemies mercy. And now that power is yours, to see directed to those whose fates require it. It is done. You've attuned yourself to the six lower heavens, and now that you know their strength, the true journey begins. You have my congratulations, Arya. What has taken me more than 15 summers to accomplish, you have done, and more in a matter of moons. But our time together has taught me that, despite what we may believe we all have our roles, and each role is just as important as the other. Without taking both Quimperine and you under my wing, you would have never saved Leveva from her assailants. Meaning, no way, I saved Lady Leveva. Not that I am one to take all the credit for such heroism. Nor shall I take credit for this missive that never would have been discovered were it not for me taking you and Quimper under my... that cold stare. It befits this god's-forsaken place. Point taken. Let's break the seal and see what this handwriting. I have seen it many a time before. It is mine uncle's, but that would mean... It would mean the highest-ranking astrologian in all Ishgard has been attempting to assassinate us! If Tribunal were to hear of this, he would be hanged. And the hanging will only earn us another ill-tempered Orthodox astrologian unwilling to open his eyes to the benefits of our discipline. No, we can use this missive to our advantage. As long as this remains in our hands, so too does the chief astrologian. Are you saying we use the missive to blackmail Forlamore? I am saying we merely grant the chief astrologian his life in exchange for a little assistance in furthering our just and noble cause. No more, no less. I see. You are quite the little devilet, my dear. Very well, I will summon mine uncle to the astroscope. There, we can present him with our offer. Hi, I'm rinimt, and I A, don't know how to go upstairs on a mount, and B, definitely didn't get lost and go the wrong way. Nope. Not me. Why must you insist on pestering me, Jenny Quinard? I gave you your letter, now leave me be! But that would not be the only letter of you have written lately, would it? Perhaps you recall a certain letter to the Forum? A letter carried by a party of less than savory characters who attempted to kidnap Lady Leveva and deliver her to Charlians, not to mention kill me, my manservant, and my good friend Arya here, who you may have forgotten is currently an honored guest at House Forton. A letter drawn up and signed by none other than you, Nuncle. Oh, but do not presume to misunderstand us. We wish neither your disgrace nor your death, at least not at our hands. In fact, we wish very little from you. Not, you might say, in the sense that you are to never again use your influence to hamper our efforts at spreading Charlian astrology here in Ishgard. Involve yourself no more in the affairs of me or my guests, and your secret remains safe. I I will even forgive you for trying to have me murdered. If, that is, you give me your word. It is not as if you've left me with much choice. You have my word, but know that silencing me will not make your nonsense any more accepted in the vault. There are others who will see you fall, others who care little whether or not I speak my piece. We are fully aware of the peaks we have left to scale. However, we shall not let that discourage us. I have been shown the path that I altogether plan on walking, and the stars shall guide my way. The stars foretell many things, my dear, and not even the best readers can see them all. Do not forget this. So we have settled it, but to hear him tell it, he was the least of our worries. Which is why we must strengthen our own bonds so that we might stand united in our cause. Synastry, to use a term taught to me by my grandfather. By temporarily enjoining your fate with that of companions, they will reap the star's benefit, as do you. Master this technique, and the hold our enemies have over us will surely weaken. So, Synastry! Basically, you can plop it on another party member, and any single target heal you do, a portion of that goes as a bonus onto whoever you have linked with. So, let me play here. Oh my gosh. Generate a etheric bond with target party member each time you cast a single target healing spell on yourself or a party member. The party member with whom you have the bond will also recover HP equaling 40% of the original spell. So unfortunately I can't do it because there's no one in my party, but say if I were to cast Benefit 2 after having used it on someone, 40% of that 2,490 would have healed onto them. It's great if you are, you know, trying to heal a tank, but also others. Toss on the tank and then, you know, start healing up the others, and the tank is still getting heals. Yeah, it can be useful, especially in, like, big pull situations. I mean, heck, even if you put it on the tank and then heal the tank, they still get that extra 40%. So, anyways, Charlian Ascending. That Furlor has so graciously agreed to discontinue his meddling in our affairs. I believe we may find our peers and colleagues more receptive to our proposals. Perhaps I shall begin with another trip to the vault to inquire about them, reconsidering my petition to grant Lady Leveva the opportunity to speak with the Conclave. We all have our strengths, John de Quinard, and none will deny yours as convincing seemingly sane people to do your bidding. Arya here is a testament to that. I look forward to hearing of your progress. As for myself, there are still some questions I need answered. The first being, how exactly did Flora Lamore come into contact with the Charlian assassins? Quipperate Atebi. I wish to visit Foundation and learn if there have been any sightings of suspicious foreigners. Might I suggest that Arya do the same here at the observatorium? Perhaps a second call on our new ally will help my uncle recall aught he may have pretermitted in the heat of the previous moment. Another thing we also picked up that I didn't think you picked up at level 50, I thought it was level 60, was the Astrologian's Attire coffer. So we get a bundle of gear for an Astrologian. And, oh hey, because I'm 54, I can upgrade my gear. So yeah, it's not exactly Astrologian gear, but it is helpful gear to, like, get you going at level 50. Okay. Right, it didn't give me a that. The heck? Did it not give me a headpiece either? Oh yeah, gold spectacles are dead. So yeah, you can see I already had one, but yeah. So you just get a bundle of level 50 gear, It's not quite the item level you want, but, I mean, it helps. So... Oh my gosh. Seven hells! I've rued the day I ever see another Charlian. Please, I've done all you ask. What more do you want from me? Blood? Or are you simply here to boast? Or mayhap you wish to know how the Charlians came to be involved in my scheme? I thought as much. If it was so important, why didn't your Lady Leveva ask me earlier? Her head is so far in the stars, she fails to see what unfolds around her on the ground. The truth is, it was never my scheme in the first place. It was the Charlians. They came to me not long after Professor Mace's ship was diverted to Thanalan. Yes, I said diverted. The pirates in the Strait of Marathor, the magically manipulated storms off the Rotano, all were staged to prevent your friends from ever arriving. But when they did, the Charlians were forced to change their plans. They required help hiring local hands discreetly, something they could not do as foreigners. I agreed to lend them my aid because I felt we both stood to benefit from the disappearance of Jean Quinard and that foul shit. Sure. Down. Ooh. That's a slight head rush, actually. The Chief Astrologian, there is rarely a day when he isn't meeting with visitors from across the realm and beyond. Why, this past moon, he has been entertaining guests with very distinct markings on their face. As Lord Forlamore, once they hailed, and he only answered, the North. Alright, so now I go back to Ishgard. Now I do. Okay. The Charlians came to him? That could only mean, then, that mine uncle was only a pawn in a much larger game. A game that began long before we ever became involved. Think back, Arya. The bandits in the Black Shroud, and those pirates you described that attacked you in Limsa Lominsa. They all had strange facial markings, as did our false astrologian. It is not much, but perhaps Lady Leveva will be able to make more sense out of it all. Despite the time we have spent together, I have this feeling she has yet to be completely honest with us. Ah, but look at me. A beloved relative tries to have me killed, and the next day I begin doubting everyone. What a sad, sad state of affairs. Perhaps to clear my head, I should call on that fine young Viscountess of visiting House Helenar from her family stepped in the Eastern Highlands. This information on Voldemort's associates should be relayed to Lady Leveva immediately. Will you be so kind? I seem to recall them saying they'd be questioning Highborn in the Pillars. Yeah, I see that it's up. However, there's these things called stairs, and I have to get there. My lady, were you able to learn anything of import at the observatorium? Lord Voldemort was not the one to hire the Charlians? Lady Leveva will want to know. Lady Leveva? Lady Leveva! She was right here! We must find her. I would not think any harm could come to her here in the center of the Holy See, but and again, that's what we believe back at Camp Dragonhead. I shall search the Hoplon. May I ask you to search in the opposite direction near the last vigil? If you don't mind me teleporting there, because I don't want to get lost here. I'm sorry, I think you have mistaken me for someone else. I guess I could have just gone that way. Oh well. Too late. Anti-getting lost measures here. Arya! When you were speaking with Kumperain, someone approached me from behind and placed a dagger to my back. No choice but to be led silently away. Luckily, my assailant let down his guard when we arrived in the shadows, and I was able to deliver him a swift kick to the groin. I've been running ever since. So Forlamore wasn't the architect of this scheme to drag me back to the Charlian after all. I had my suspicions. I was a fool to believe they would simply let me leave. Do you recall when I mentioned there were people in the old world intent on hoarding our nation's knowledge? Well, it appears that my efforts to train you and Jeanne de Quinard have attracted their ire. Arya, allow me to apologize. I have not been wholly frank with you about my reason for visiting Eorzea. The truth is, I came here because of my father. My father dreamed of rekindling the Holy See's interest in Charlian astrology, believing that it would be of great benefit to the embattled people of Ishgard. He came here several moons after I was born, intending to remain for only a season. However, he never made the return journey. His dream was left unrealized, and his newborn daughter left without a father. Never once did I meet him, but every night when I look to the stars, I know that those are the same skies he, too, gazed upon. The same skies he used as his strength and guide. It was only natural that I follow in his footsteps. In spite of the objections from my mother, I did not wish to see her only daughter lost as well. And here I am in Eorzea almost 2 decades later, pursuing a dream my father never lived to realize. A dream that has become my own. And now, someone's trying to stop me. Well, just let them try, I say. Just let them try. Lady Leveva, a maiden of your beauty should not wander off without an escort. Monsters hide even in the shadows of the pillars. Maiden, Flatty will earn you nothing in Jeanne de Quinard, but I will accept it nonetheless. Tell me, what did the vault say to our proposal? They accepted it! We've been given official permission by the Holy See to conduct a symposium on the wonders of Charlian astrology, with you as our guest speaker. Now come, we must hurry back to Athenium and begin preparations. We're in 15 summers to make ready for this moment, and I only have a matter of days! Yep. Alright, we're going this way. See if I can do it. Not get lost. Should be easy, right? I see my destination. Just go this way. See? Easy. Arya, this has been the most beguiling past few moons, I must say. I truly did not expect the turns that my fate has taken. I suppose that speaks much to my capacity as a reader of the heavens. I am not blind to what goes on in Foundation, so I will not claim that my life is in any way difficult, but that does not mean I do not have my share of troubles, however trivial they may be. Being anything but first in line to a countship is not all horrors and rainbows. The Count only truly cares about his newly appointed heir, just like the rest of my family. They expect great things from him. For me, they expect nothing. For a long time, I tried to prove that I could be as great as my cousin. It is why I went to Charlian. It is why I have tried to do things I had no business to even trying. Then, once I realized no one was looking, I simply stopped caring. My actions becoming more and more outlandish. Because at the end of the day, that is what everyone expected. But then you two walked through that door and helped me realize that maybe life is more than the coffin that has been fitted for me. Maybe the fate I believe was mine was not mine at all. And for helping me see that, Arya, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. The next Astrologic quest will be available upon reaching level 52. Which means I can already take it because I'm 54. So, let's just do it. Empty nest. I have good news and bad news. The good news is preparations for the symposium on Charlian astrology have been progressing smoothly, as we have expectedly encountered very little resistance from the vault. They have even gone to the trouble of securing us a spacious venue for the event. Bad news is the spacious venue in question lies in Falcon's Nest. Lest you wonder, I speak of the same frigid building site in the middle of nowhere that you will doubtless have heard so many good things about. Yes, my friend, that Falcon's Nest. Yes, suppose this may be a blessing in disguise. I am just not certain what that blessing may be. Perhaps we should all make for the hamlet and see. Alright, let's try the Falcon's Nest. Greetings, Arya. It appears that not only is our symposium to be held in a tiny hamlet moments away from civilization crawling with people who cannot even spell astrology, let alone grasp how it works, but that no one in the whole town has even been informed of our arrival. The three of us have been spending the last battle speaking with whomever will listen, inviting them to attend the event, so at least we won't be speaking to an empty form. Oh, worry not, my friend. We have saved the Northern District just for you. Thanks. I appreciate it. Charlie in astrology, eh? You a heretic? Because you're talking like one. There's only one kind of astrology in Ishgard, and it ain't the heathen kind. Considering as you are an unbeliever, I suppose the knights might allow you to yap and yammer, but cause too much commotion, you'll be disappeared like the other lad. Now when was that? Bloody heretics. An outrider, and his wounds look deep. Is there a cutter nearby? Cast diurnal aspected benefit on the wounded knight. Let's get in diurnal and do so. What is this sorcery? My cuts, they knit themselves. Are you a healer adventurer? If so, I have another request of you. There were others in my scouting party. We were all wounded, some of us more gravely than others. I fear that my fellow knights may be in grave danger. Would you seek them out and tend to them as you did me? I'll report to Sir Redwold, but I fear that by the time he can muster reinforcements, several men will have perished. Alright, let's find a slow-footed knight and slay the heretics harrying them, apparently. I can do that. I can do that. Hello, slow-footed knight. Let's slay your friend here. So the other thing gravity can be useful for is like just, or not gravity, light speed. You know, just to make sure your casting gets done in time and so forth. Yeah, light speed can definitely be useful. Now let's heal this guy. How did you? It is as if I was never dealt a single wound. What manner of magics do you wield, friend? Astromancy? But I thought the star served only to grant us insight into the Horde's movements. Why are there not more astrologians in the field? You and your companions are in the Falcon's Nest to discuss that very topic? Hey, perhaps I can persuade others in the garrison to attend. Now I must hurry back to the hamlet. My captain will want a full report of the day's happenings. Alright, let's get back to the Falcon's Nest. Where have you been? When you did not return, we visited the northern gates and found the air astir with night activity. You left the hamlet to aid wounded scouts? You could have been killed, or eaten, or killed and eaten, or eaten and killed. What is this? You see your display of astromancy has impressed the knights into attending our event? This may work to our advantage. If the knights begin clamoring for astrologians to be assigned to their ranks, then the siege may just listen. Let's find these good men and inform them that the symposium is about to commence. Alright, let us do that. Those hoar-frosted balls, not a single person came. I told you this was a terrible plan. Use the confusion from the jam-packed symposium to approach the target, she says. You have her out of the hamlet before her companions even know she's gone, she says. Even a blind babe could have seen that no one would gather for a talk on astrology in the middle of swiving. Hi. The astrologian who tended to my wounds. As you can see, both me and my fellow knight made swift recoveries. Thanks to your wonderful magics, of course. Yes. Reinforcements from the garrison never arrived. Reinforcements. Oh, yes. I spoke with Sir Red Wolf myself. Perhaps he felt there was no need for reinforcements after I convinced him what an able healer you were. Yes, that is it. That is most certainly the reason. Yes. And as much as we would like to attend, the captain has already assigned us to another mission. I apologize to you and your companions. Perhaps we can make the next symposium? Carry on then. Well then, that is it then. The vault wins. Do not think of this such, Leveva. This is but one hurdle we must leap. The vault wants us to stop and turn around, and they will continue placing hurdles before us until we do. We cannot let that discourage us. We must carry on until we reach our destination, or they run out of hurdles. Ha! You cry over hurdles. You know not how lucky you were. Did you come for the symposium? No, I won't let anyone see me at that gathering. I'd be branded a heretic and sent to watch witch drop. Or worse, they just slit my throat and toss me out to the beast. Like as they did that other astrologian from the old world. The other astrologian? When was this? When you reached my angel, the summers melt together. My hair still had color, so it must have been at least a score. Mayhap more, mayhap less. There was an astrologian who was long ago. Could not have been anyone you knew. We cannot dwell on the past. We must needs find a way to interpret the cards we have been dealt, so that they might benefit the present. Our present. No, it could not have been anyone I knew. Never had the chance to. You're alright, Shanakanarn. We mustn't let the vault, or bandits, or closed minds prevent us from achieving what we came here for. The stars will point the way. And we will help the people of Ishgard see that as well. Leveva did not take the old man's recollection of the slain astrologian well at all. I understand that hearing of a fellow colleague's death might unnerve someone, but you think she had lost her father. Oh, Janet Quinard, what have you done? I will not live down this offense. You see, the astrologian of whom Anne spoke, it so happens I knew him as well. His name was Rufin, and he was my friend and confidant when I studied in Charlian. My only friend. He followed me back to Ishgard when my stay in the city-state was cut short by the Exodus. His dream was to rekindle interest in the forgotten techniques which gave rise to Ishgardian astrology. But this was a time when the Holy See was even more opposed to foreign ideas than they are now. That evening I discovered him bleeding at his bureau was one of the saddest in my life, but even at the hour of his death, Rufin remained strong, and he made me promise that I would not let his dream fade because of the closed-minded. Sometimes the mere gravity of a situation can harm a person more than the blade itself. If we can learn to wield that gravity so that it may benefit us, perhaps then the healing can begin. Alright. Conviction. The Vault went and outdid themselves. The location of the next symposium? The Convictory, a makeshift camp for a band of bickering knights. I've spoken at length with Lady Laveva about how we might handle the second inconvenience so as to not meet the same fate we did in Falcon's Nest. I fear the worst, but the lady believes that we may be approaching this all wrong, that we should embrace this situation and use it to our advantage. I believe she is merely unaccustomed to the thin alpine air and her wits are not in order. Perchance we should make for the camp and see for ourselves. Alright, let's head for the Convictory. Tread lightly, Arya. This is not the work of bandits. Whimpering hurts words out by the convictors. You were assaulted by the men sworn to protect us? This is madness! The Vault led the knights to believe the party of Astrologians would be arriving to aid them in scrying the location of the Horror's next attack. They took out their frustration on poor Quimperane when they learned I can foretell the whims of a dragon about as well as I can of those of Janet Quinard. But no, we must not let this discourage us. If words have no weight with these men, then let our magics do the speaking. Alright. Of course, I have to make sure I'm close enough, otherwise I'll be like, you are too far away. But you're an astrologian. You can't heal people. That's not what astrologians do. Yes, it is. Pain. It's gone. How did you... My wounds, as if they were never there. Wait, who's going to believe that I slew a dragon if I haven't the wounds to show for it? I don't know where to think you or slit your throat. I suppose I wouldn't be able to do either if you hadn't healed me with those queer magics, so this day, I see fit to forgive you. You. What is wrong, Laveva? Have you tapped too deeply into your mental reserves? Perhaps you should take a moment of respite. That blood is not the knight's. Ah, the loyal lapdog. Without you to state the obvious, where would your masters be, pray tell? You. Again! One might think these markings would betray my identity, but you Eorzeans have a singular capacity to look without seeing. I'm amazed you were not constantly wandering the bonfires or off of cliffs. I have grown weary of this masquerade, and I am done with entrusting my fate to this realm's blundering mercenaries. My name is Seelie, and I am here to take the Lady Laveva into custody so she can be transferred back to Charlian and tried for her crimes. Taken into custody? On whose authority? You are here without permission of the form, performing acts which amount to treason. Grandfather has already been detained and questioned. I'm giving you the opportunity to turn yourself in and put an end to this farce once and for all. Do as I say, and no one will be harmed. Yourself included, Lady Laveva. She's already harmed, though. But Lady Laveva, I thought you and your grandfather were dispatched on an official expedition. Seems that Laveva has not told you everything. Did you know it was her father who was killed nearly 15 summers past? 15 summers past, Jenny Quinard. Your adventurer friend seems already to put two and two together. Why didn't she tell you earlier? Or why she didn't tell you earlier? I cannot fathom. What else are they leaving you out of, Jenny Quinard de Durandare? But silence. This is my final warning. When you see me again, you will either give yourself up or you will die at my blade. Think on that, Laveva. Arya, Lady Laveva's wound is deep. I do not believe I can heal on my own. Lend me your aid. Alright. Do a diurnal effect benefic. And go right back into cutscene. Excellent. Thank you, my friends. For someone who claimed she was hired to bring me back to Charlian, her aim was quite true. Lady Laveva, this Sealy claimed that you are not here with the blessing of the form. Is this so? Why did you not see fit to mention this? My grandfather knew the form would never allow us to come to Ishgard, and that their contemplation over the matter was merely a tactic to stall and discourage us. The stars had spoken to my grandfather, and he was not about to turn a deaf ear to them. I kept silent because I did not wish to let the petty, politicking men, thousands of moms to the north, stand in the way of our dream. Our dream to spread the word of Charlian astrology. And such was my father's dream, until he was killed for it by closed-minded peasants. But Rufin never once spoke ill of those he wished to enlighten, even at his end. How do you know my father's name? Your father and I became close when I was in Charlian. When the Exodus forced me to return home, he asked if he could accompany me, saying that he wished to try and convince those who once believed in the star's power to look to the skies again. We did for several moons. My countrymen were deeply skeptical and slow to warm to the idea of heathen magics. Some were even rude, but he never gave up on them, right up until he was... I was there during your father's last moments. I heard a commotion come from his room late one night, went in to check, only to find him bleeding and slumped over his diary, which he was writing when he was attacked. With his last strength, he handed me the diary and asked that I do not blame my people and that I continue our work. I believe this belongs with you now. I do not know if I can forgive those who killed my father. I do not expect you to forgive us yet, but knowing that he did, even at the moment of his death, perhaps will help you one day understand. You have always reminded me of Rufin, even before I knew he was your father. Your passion for your discipline equals his own, or may even exceed it. Father, did you know what fate awaited you in this realm? Did you see all this? The stars have you merely paved the way for me? If they did, then I shall not allow anyone to stand in your way. You are right, good man, and so I should allow this breach of etiquette. But if you fail to address Lady Laveva properly again, I'll have you spit shining the privy back at dear manor. I'll leave him be, Jeanne. Without Quimperine here, I'd have been tied up and shipped back to the old world moons ago. Stars have him here with me. He is not going anywhere, and neither am I. I am done with symposiums. That is not what my father wanted. He came here not to speak of astrology. He came here to use it. And so that is what I shall do. There are still many convictors who can benefit from these magics. And what better way to convince people of your greatness than by ensuring they remain alive long enough to sing your praises? Jeanne, will you tell me of my father? I would be delighted, my lady, unless that is you mean now, as I have a prior engagement with a lovely pair of baronesses from House Zamel, and I would not wish to keep them waiting. Okay, back to Ishgard. To think that my old friend Rufin may have seen what grim fate awaited him in Ishgard, but chose to come anyway, knowing that it would inspire both me and his daughter. God, sometimes these celestial machinations are simply too grand in scope to grasp. However, if it is as we believe, then we must, as Quimperine so bluntly stated, make sure that not disrupt us on our path to that fate. Perhaps this time I revealed to you a more powerful form of malefic, so that you might be better prepared for the trials that are to follow. Ah, that furrow upon your brow suggests you could have used this spell earlier in your training. Retrospect, I would be inclined to agree. Yes, it would have been useful earlier. But we get Malefic 2. Yay! Which just means Malefic 1 gets replaced with Malefic 2 in our hotbar. Used to be they didn't automatically replace each other or themselves, but they do now. Yay! So yeah, next quest is at 56. And traits. Enhanced Malefic Mastery. Upgrades Malefic till Malefic 2, yeah. Well, I think it used to be they didn't replace each other. But regardless, yeah. So yeah. Next quest at 56. Unfortunately, no skill associated with it. But 58 and 60 both more than make up for it. Those are both really, really good skills. So, yeah, that's 54 done. Yay! Alright, let's do the level 60 quest. Yay! Sorry, 56 quest. Forgot I'm back there. I am happy to report that Laveva is fine and well, and it hasn't been attacked by bandits, dastards, curs, Charlene spies, or disgruntled knights once since her last encounter at the Convictory. After restoring health to all the Convictors so they might return to getting wounded again, she journeyed northwest into the Dravanian Forelands. If that journey was without incident, she should be in Tailfeather now, tending to the chocobo hunters there. I suggest that we go and join her, Arya. Sure, let's go ahead and head to Tailfeather. Arya, it is good to see you again. I pray you have not been neglecting your training. Now, you may be wondering why I chose Tailfeather, of all places, to visit next. Well, the truth of the matter is, I did not choose it at all. It chose me. The hunters here somehow heard of what we had done at the Convictory, and placed a formal request to have me come and tend to the hamlet's wounded. I would like to believe this proof that word of the benefits of the Charlian Astrology is slowly but surely spreading through the realm. But enough talk. There are still many ailing souls that require succor. Would you and Jenna Quinar mind assisting me again, as you did in the Western Highlands? Sure. Arnold. An honest healer. You're in Tailfeather? No, I have seen everything. Where are we going? Down here. Damn each and every one of the 12 and summon hell back. I'm not ready to die. Oh, I need to heal you. Praise to 12, I'm healed. Hello. I don't know who you are, but you're good in my book. I thought I made a name for myself here. What the heck? What the heck? These men and women have chosen a horrendously dangerous profession. A chocobo's talents can rip open flesh to the bone, and a single kick can knock an otherwise hale hunter out for a sennight, if he survives it. Many of them seem surprised, grateful of course, but surprised that we were helping them. Does the hamlet not have its own healers? Do the Temple Knights not dispatch the Hospitaliers this far from Ishgard? The Holy See only cares for the war with the dragons. It cannot be bothered with a handful of hunters, despite the fact these hunters are its citizens. I was told on my arrival that they manage with makeshift poultices created using herbs gathered from around the hamlet. When the wounds are more severe, they turn to their soul barber, who, well, is also a local butcher. I'm sorry. My frustration with the situation, coupled with the day's efforts, have me slightly drained. Might I be allowed a few moments of respite? Flipperine, Arya, would you be so kind as to accompany the lady on her stroll? It has been far too long since that Charlian assassin showed her face, and the reading I conducted earlier this morning showed that day rife with conflict and confusion. Alright. Let's go find her in the Chocobo Forest. Where are you? Oh, hey, solo instance. Fancy that. Let's go. I am glad you came, Arya. There is something important I must tell you. Since Jenna Quinard gave me my father's journal, I've spent nights poring over his writings, trying to piece together what I could about his life. It appears he was hardworking and just. He trusted all and truly wanted to help people in need. He believed that knowledge should not be hoarded like food, but shared amongst the intellectually starved. He also knew that there were those who would see him stop, persons who use their influence to trick and frighten the form into believing that knowledge should be kept at one's breast, persons who saw my father as a threat. His final few entries all speak of how he feared for his life, of how one man in particular was working to see him dead. The man's name is not important, for in the end it turned out your father was killed by the very people he was foolish enough to trust. People who, in their slaying of a good man, proved that they were unworthy of the knowledge he so freely offered them. And now, here you are, making the same mistake as he. Continue with this foolishness, and you, too, will suffer his fate. Do not dare talk of my father as if you knew him. You know nothing. Your mind is as closed as the minds of those back in the old world who believe that hiding in their books will shield them from the pain and suffering of the real world. Such passion is a pity it remains misdirected. My employer only wishes to see you back safe in Charlian. The forum recognizes your talent. You are an asset to our nation and its people, and would have you live a long and prosperous life so that you may rise even higher than your father ever had the opportunity to. But we both know you are far too stubborn to take this gift so graciously offered. You would rather fight, and you know, so would I. No more games, Laveva. Let us end this right here, right now, with your precious stars as our witness. Spare no one, not even a girl. Hey. Alright, I can do this. Alright, just go ahead and pop it on me, I guess. Excuse me, why am I tanking? That is a very good question. Why is there more of them? Oh my gosh. Is there no end to them? Oh hey, Celia's here. I think I'm saying the wrong button or something. Wait, who's here? Oh hey, Tail Feather Hunters. Sweet! Sorry, I don't think because you asked me in class you need to stay here. This time I've come prepared. There's no one looks as if you could do with an extra blade. That's what I was missing. Not die like your father did on foreign sail at the hand of barbarians. What? We have a giant cat thingy? Not back up on Sealy. Come on, someone silence! Oh no! Oh, silencers. Silence. How could they do this? The irony. Okay. Are you alright? I heard the commotion and came as quickly as I could. Not as quickly as these four. You remember the hunter so gravely wounded not less than a bell ago. Memory serves me, they could barely lift a finger, let alone rush headlong into a heated battle and help turn the tide. Don't be too hard on the silk shirt. Turns out we didn't need his help any road. Who would have thought it, eh? Real life fighting astrologians. Now I truly have seen everything. Laveva! I dare say those men would not have risked their lives had they little respect for us or our craft. You are right. Our actions here have done more to promote Charlian astrology than any long-winded discourse. Why, I expect this very night the tale of your daring deeds will be told 100 times over in mead halls across the Forelands. Which means it will not be long before the Forum has heard as well. We Charlians may have officially abandoned this realm, but our ears remain. If the one who hired Sealy is who I think it is, I expect not less than a formal edict of extradition to be issued. An edict of extradition? But Charlian has no power to force Ishigard to deliver you into their hands. Furthermore, what exactly is it you have done wrong but allowed others to partake in your great nation's bottomless well of knowledge, as I did more than 15 summers ago when I studied in her halls? Things changed after you left Janequinard. Many even believe it was my father's death that tipped the scales in favor of closing Charlian's doors and locking away all our knowledge. The Forum deems it so. I could be arrested and imprisoned for the theft of national resources. I see no reason why your Holy See, who has already shown its disdain for our efforts, would stand in its way. So, what do we do? Your grandfather, your father, they have given them so much to see you here. We cannot just concede defeat now that we have finally begun to make headway. I never said we would, Jana. I have no intention of giving up or giving in. Doing so would be to deny the sacrifices made by my father and grandfather. The stars have shown me the path I must take. There is no other. And it begins back at Tailfeather, healing those who aided us. I will see the two of you in Ishgard once I have settled matters here. Quimpering will see I arrive unharmed. Okay. So, let's head back to Ishgard. Lady Laveva still has not returned from Tailfeather. Oh, but do not worry, I have had word that she simply intends to stay a few turns of the sun longer. What we should be worrying about, however, is the Forum and their pending decision on our company's extradition. If an official edict is drafted, I fear we may find ourselves at the mercy of the Vault. And if that were to happen, there will be little we can do to keep Laveva here, short of starting a war. I'll pass. If only we had more time. When I was studying in Charlian, I heard whispers of an ancient astromantic spell which could stop time and the very movements of the heaven. All of my professors denied its existence, the only technique remotely similar being something called time dilation. A process in which diverting a celestial body's otherwise straight flow of ether causes the illusion of slow time, increasing the duration of beneficial magics. A pity I never learned to cast it. So they're actually, I think, referencing a removed Astrologian ability there, which was, yeah, it used to deal with cards. It would extend the duration of cards, and it doesn't exist anymore, so they never put anything else here. Trumped. Word of Lady Laveva's charity has begun spreading, my friend. I have attended more than one luncheon where it was positively dripping off the tongues of all the good lords and ladies. And the knights, oh, the knights. They have started rumbling about why magics that not only heal the wounded, but also enhance the strength of the healthy, are not being employed to save the lives of those on the front lines. Needless to say, the Vault is not amused. Their plans to have us fade in obscurity have rebounded upon them. Now they are scrambling to twist this situation to their advantage. Listen, Arya. The Vault would have us officially attend an operation currently underway in the Western Highlands village of Hemlock. The settlement was abandoned after calamity and has since been overrun with beasts of all manner. The Holy See seeks to reclaim it, and my uncle, the Count, has generously volunteered his knights to clear the area of any remaining threats. It is win-win for the Vault. The operation is small enough and far enough away from the capital that even if it is a success, no one will pay it half a mind. But the Vault will be able to say that they answered the pleas of the knights. If, for any reason, the operation were to fail, then the Vault would be able to attribute the failure to the Astrologian presence and turn the high houses against Lady Leveva. I spoke with a lady about this, but she said she was not interested in the politics of the situation. Only it was her duty to aid people in need. We should speak with her, and soon. Let's make haste to Hemlock. Alright, what side is this on? Oh my gosh. Yeah, Falcon's Nest is just gonna be best. I can say, why is there a blue mark? Oh, I guess it's to get in case you don't have flight. Or something. But of course we do have flight. Got it. That was very confusing. I'm just like, what? Oh. Cannot go in building. Hello. We severely underestimated the strength of our enemies, and now my men and women find themselves overwhelmed. The tight wedges we had at the day's onset have all degraded into small knots of fighting. The number of wounded is growing faster than our chaplains can heal them. Thank the fury you arrived when you did. Alright. Let us find some wounded knights. I'm a Nocturnal. Where am I? Where's my company? I must return to them. Of course, that's gonna be another one we have to do. I shan't forget this Astrologian. I am forever in your debt. Why aren't you still casting Terrible Aspects and Benefit on the Knights? Oh my gosh, that quest thing. You have my thanks, but there still must be many who require succor. I heard a woman scream beyond this very boulder and almost before you arrived. I love that though. It's like, why aren't you still casting? Get to it. Oh, come on. I was trying to avoid aggro. Let's use the flight trick to ditch it faster. Alright, get over here. I said get over here. Computer, this is not the time. Let's rescue my overwhelmed companions. What was this? What? What have we here? Sylvestra, you who vowed never to set foot in this barbarian land again? Unless... Clever girl. Yes, it was I who hired Celia to bring you back to Charlian, and if you had come back with us quietly, you would be free right now, rather than a wanted criminal facing a trial, imprisonment, even execution. Depending on what you have told these tame savages of yours. Yes, my dear, I offered you a chance. Have you foolishly refused it? The edict has been issued, and I'm here to collect you. Oh, I must place some of the blame on that, for that on our friend Celia. Had she not insisted on playing games, perhaps he would have displayed reason back in the Black Shroud. Instead, she merely added fuel to the fire already hot with your inherent stubbornness. And now I'm forced to make the journey to this filthy realm to clean up her mess. And I suppose that starts with these companions of yours. Arya, take Janet Quinard and leave. Right now. Neither of you are ready for the magics of the variety he wields. But what of you, my lady? I am going to reclaim my father's journal. Brave. Your father was brave. Your father is also dead. Lady Viva! I understand Sealy's frustration. This realm is truly overrun with vermin. How we suffered here for so long, I will never know. Very well, Viva. You will leave me no choice. You may already know we have questioned the Mace regarding your unauthorized passage into Eorzea. What we may not know is that we still hold him in the dark cells. Just as a precautionary measure, of course. We would not want to see him flee again before the trial. Now your grandfather is not as spry as he used to be. I'm uncertain how long the sanity of a man of his age will last in complete darkness. The longer you delay, the closer we come to finding out. If you wish to see your grandfather released, you will come to the abandoned city in the Dravanian hinterlands. There, my airship will be waiting to take you back to the old world where you've tried. Fairly, of course. I suppose you could run, but know that doing so would have grave consequences for your grandfather, possibly your mother as well, and we would still eventually find you. Wait, my father's diary! He may still be close. Wait here. Lady Viva, who was that? I have the strangest feeling I should know him from somewhere. Sylvestra, leader of the Bibliotheques, a powerful group of conservative fundamentalists who seek to control the whole of Charlene's knowledge. They believe that our people should not become involved in history, only be witness to it, and analyze it out until all the lives lived and lost are but numbers on a page. Seriously, what did the audio until I started recording? Every time. You may remember Sylvestra, John Quinard, because he is the self-same man who has pushed for old Charlene to batten its doors, and has used my father's death as his rallying cry. And now I'm certain that he had my father killed. Near the end of my father's diary, he mentions being contacted by a young Sylvestra, who happened to be an older classmate of his when they were both at the studium. Sylvestra, looking to make a name for himself as a politician, warned my father against continuing to disseminate knowledge of Charlene astrology in Eorzea. A warning my father, of course, did not heed. Soon after, several attempts were made upon my father's life. We subsequently looked into the matter. He discovered that there was a price on his head, and that Sylvestra had put it there. I discovered a contract signed by the wretch folded into my father's journal. He had planned on revealing it to the forum on his return, but he never had a chance. John Quinard, my father gave you that journal before he died, but you never once opened it? I did not think it was mine to read, but what you say, if it is true, we must get that diary back. Come, it seems the fighting has died down. Let us report to the captain of the knights, then return to Ishgard so we may plan our next move. Alright. Many lives were saved because of you. If this is what we can expect from Charlene Astrology, I see no reason why we shouldn't have knights trained in the field. I will recommend this to the Lord Commander. I suspect he will be pleased to see the day won with so few casualties. If you require our services again, you need only ask. Come, Arya, let's hasten back to Ishgard. Moments ago, we received a missive from the commander of my father's guard. He thanked us again for assistance in Hemlock and has formally requested that Lady Leveva train several of his knights in Charlene astrology. The vault, however, remained silent. I believe the silence is to be calculated. If the edict issued for Lady Leveva's extradition has arrived, they need only turn a blind eye to Sylvester's actions until he has speared the lady from the realm, and people simply forget she was ever here. But we are not going to let that happen, are we, my lady? I'm sorry, Jenna Kennard, but I no longer see how we cannot. Sylvester has my grandfather. He has threatened to take my mother, and he now has the one thing that could have saved them both, my father's journal. No, Jenna Kennard, I cannot deny my fate any longer. I've done several readings since our return, and every one is the same. Deceit, manipulation, submission. My path is clear. You, however, can carry on. Sylvester has no authority over you, or you, Arya. See that my father's dream is fulfilled. Promise me that much. I shall promise you that more, my lady. Quimperine and I will see you to the place of meeting and do whatever possible to make certain that Sylvester keeps his word. You know that by attending me, you put yourself in danger. He has shown he will not hesitate to kill anyone who stands in his way. And now that he knows I know of his involvement in my father's death, but still you would stand by my side in my last moments in the Eorzea. I do not deserve friends such as you. Arya, ether is the building block of all that surrounds us, meaning that everything is connected. Someone closely attuned with that ether can, in a sense, link themselves with others, feeling their joy, feeling their pain. Scholars of the soul call this empathy. Crystal gazers and card readers call it the Wheel of Fortune. We astrologians call it collective unconsciousness. Whatever you call it, I feel that bond with you. Both of you. Thank you. And so we actually learn collective unconscious. So what is collective unconscious? Before we move on, let me drop it into place here. So collective unconscious, let us go ahead and read it here. Creates a diurnal ring, or creates a celestial ring around the caster. In diurnal, it reduces damage taken by 10% and applies Wheel of Fortune to self and any party members who enter. Wheel of Fortune diurnal effect diurnal grants regen for 15 seconds. Nocturnal Sect grants healing over time and applies Wheel of Fortune to self and any party members who enter. Wheel of Fortune effect Nocturnal reduces damage taken by 10%. Effect ends upon using another action or moving, including facing a different direction. Cancels all attack upon execution. Can only be used under Diurnal or Nocturnal Sect. So, it's this. It is deceptively, like, on first glance, you might think, oh, whatever, this doesn't seem that great, but what you can do, I mean, you can, of course, leave it up for the shield, which is good if you know you're about to get hit by a big AoE, but you can also just go ahead and hit it for a second, get the effect going, either Nocturnal or Diurnal, whatever the damage taken, or the regen, and that will stay on for the duration of whatever, so 18 seconds. Yeah, 18 seconds for... Or no, 20 seconds for the reduced damage and 15 seconds for the regen. So that lasts. So it's just another, like, just thing you can pop real quick to throw on the regen. It's a good tool to rotate into your other regions or shields. Anyway, the Hands of Fate. I'm quite aware that the mere notion of accompanying Leveva to the answering quarter is bordering on absurd, but I cannot in good faith abandon our good friend in her time of need, not after all we have been through. I'm joyed to see that you have come to the same conclusion as well. You two are foolish, but I would not trade friends such as you for all the gold in the Ormvale. But there is no gold in... Might I ask you entertain a second option? You said that your father's diary contained a document which implicates Sylvester and Rufin's murder. What if... I fully understand the enormity of this. But what if Sylvester still has yet to lay eyes on that document? Suppose he only took the diary to provoke you. We could somehow retrieve it before you boarded his airship. Then we have a bargaining chip of our own. But this man is the leader of the bibliotheques. Their sole purpose in life is the hoarding of knowledge. Of course he read the diary, and knowing Sylvester, the document would have been set to flame the moment he discovered it. Unless we told him that there was another document when they removed from the diary to have examined, one that was not in the diary when he stole it. course, there's no such page, but it would be easy enough to draft something up from memory of what I saw, something that would appear official from a distance. It just might work. Though there is always a chance that he may simply attempt to take the document by force. Were that to happen, we would be fortunate to escape with our lives. Sylvester is a formidable astrologian. Some say he even possesses the power to stop time. I thought those were only... no, we mustn't think of that. There is little time left before the scheduled meeting in the answering quarter. Lady Laveva's plan is all we have. If we are to save both her and her family, we must act and trust that the stars will guide us to victory. Alright, we need to head to the answering quarter. So let's dial there. Things I'm very good at doing. Taking the wrong exit. Thankfully, you can just fly over. Nigh on 15 summers have come and gone since I last set foot on the path of contemplation, yet this place appears as if it hasn't been inhabited for centuries. Nature is the greatest of levelers, Jana Quinard. She provides us with what we need, but when we are done with it, she is quick to take back what is, and always has been, rightfully hers. There's still time before Sylvester is to arrive. I would like to take a walk and see where my father lived. Just knowing that I tread the same ground as he may grant my mind some peace. Well, then I might suggest a rooftop garden. Directly to the south of here. Your father and I would spend many a night there gazing up at the stars and prattling on about our dreams into the small hours. It is where he first told me of your mother. Your birth mother, not the aunt who cared for you after Lady Bird died in labor and the child she was carrying. Alright. Hello. I wonder if my father knew that one day I would be here, standing under the same sky he did. Did he know that he would have a daughter who was as stubborn as he? A daughter who put her life in the lives of those she loved in danger because of an unfulfilled dream? I think he did. And I think if he were here now, he would be proud. Proud that I at least tried. Proud that I did not let fate control me. But I rather walked hand in hand. Oh my gosh. With that fate down the path that my father left, not only for me, but for all those who would carry in their hearts the same dream. I believe he would be as well, Lady Laveva. Though I did not fully realize until recently, these past moons, it has been as if Rufin were here by my side once again. The passion, the stubbornness, the talent. I do not think he would stand idly by as Sylvester had his way, and so I believe neither should we. Thank you, Jana. I know I have been hard on you, but it is only because you were an incompetent astrologian with an aversion to training, not because you were anything but a good man and a good friend. Now, let's see what the stars have in mind for us today. Alright, let's... Oh, hey, look. Hey, Rank. Sylvester is not a man to be late. He will be here. Never so predictable, Laveva. Sorry to inform you, there has been a change of plans, so there will be no return to your homeland. No tear-filled reunion with your grandfather, no trial. Only a sentence. And that sentence shall be carried out here by mine hand. You see, after reading your father's diary, it became clear that you and your wretched friends know too much. You would not believe how long I've been searching for that document. The last one that connected me to your father's unfortunate accident. I tracked down and had all the others destroyed, but this one has eluded me for almost 2 decades. The last? Jana, Arya, it appears we are left with but a single path. There was only ever one, my lady, and we shall see it to the end. So yep, see, I just did that, and now we have a handy, silent thing. Are an orderly of it, but by ignoring my directions to come alone, you have saved me the effort of tracking down and slaying each one of you individually. Oh, we could be making friends. So yeah, I did that and just, oh look, a region. If you barbarians are one thing and is brave, I shall give you that bravery, however, is the blunt blade of the weak. Let me show you why the barbarians cannot be allowed to live. Alright, we need to take out some shields before he finishes his casting here. Did I miss one? Oh yeah, lucky one. May water bless your health. Oh, I actually am like just restoring stuff here. Alright, we'll toss up another region. Or maybe toss up another region. There we go. Like, so it's just a handy, like, instant cast region like that. Alright, so he's still casting. We need to finish this before he finishes his cast. And there we have it. Yeah, it's just so handy as a nice little region. Mind you, when the ability first came out, it sucked. At least I thought it sucked. It's good now. It didn't used to be good. They fixed it with Shadowbringers, I believe. Wait, if you wish to see your grandfather live, you will not kill me. That was never our intention, Sylvester. No. I only wish to ask a few simple favors. The first being the return of my father's diary. You will then send word back to the old world to have my grandfather released immediately. And finally, we'll return to Charlene and report to the forum that I have disappeared and am presumed deceased. Fail to do these things, and I shall tell the forum all I know of your involvement in my father's death. I doubt that will be as generous with the mercy as I. And what? We shall remain here and continue to spread our knowledge across this worm-eaten realm like it was sweet cream butter. You know not what you do. The barbarians of this realm have shown that they can only use knowledge to destroy each other. They corrupt it, they lessen it, and then they forget it. They never once have shown they are worthy of the knowledge they so defile. And yet you would still give it to them. Very well. I shall do as you ask. But know that the forum is ever listening, ever watching. Should you continue your escapades here in Nishgard, they will find out. And they will send others until they have succeeded where I have failed. You best make certain they do not. You are a powerful man who also happens to be a master of lies and deceit. I pray the task should not prove too difficult, and if it does, well, then I can always show them what manner of a man you truly are. I do not think there will be any need for that. Sylvester, however wicked, is not a fool. He will not sacrifice what he has spent the past 2 decades building over a girl he, even with his back to the cobbles, sees as inferior. Especially if you have offered him a means of accomplishing it without causing him to lose face. His pride, of course, will ache, but it's not a little wine cannot cure. You're right, Jean Quinard. Something I never thought I would admit, at least out loud. So, does this mean you will remain in the sea and continue your teachings? Of course I will. There is the pending contract with House Dare, my obligations to convictors and the hunters of Tailfeather, and then of course there is a matter of your incomplete training. If memory serves me, you have still only opened half of the Heaven's Gate. What was that sound? What? Well, things did not go completely as planned, but we arrived at the fate intended for us nonetheless. Now the question is, what to do with this fate we have been granted? I believe this warrants another reading, but perhaps after we've had a bite to eat. Alright, back to Ishgard one more time. Arya, you're just in time to greet the Athenaeum's newest member. May I present you with Lord Rufin? My surprise. But I believe I know the answer. Your senses are doubtless reeling from having witnessed poor Laveva's tragic end in the hinterlands. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Contrary to popular opinion, I was not murdered at all, but merely on a long and winding journey that has finally brought me back to Ishgard, so I may teach the secrets of Charlene astrology once again. I mean to show the people that fate is a path that need not be walked in darkness, and that the stars can be used to light the way. And my first lesson, that those who oppose the celestial guidance shall be doomed to mark time for all of eternity. So we actually learned Celestial Opposition. This concludes the Astrologian quest for Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. On the Technic series of quests, you must first meet the following requirements. You must have registered Stormblood and also finish the 3.55 story. Once you've done so, the next Astrologian quest will be available from Johnny Quinard. Okay, he doesn't even have a thing. So, the stars in our fault 2. Yes. You didn't see the stars in our faults 1 because it was level 50. I got that from that. Or actually, did we? Yeah, I guess we did. Yeah, stars in our faults. So we also picked up a Welkin Attire, which is our actual Astrologian look. Do I? I don't have hat on, do I? This is gonna lower my iron level, but I don't know why I put that on. So yeah, this is the actual Astrologian look. Somehow, despite having a mask on, you can still see my cold breath. Cool. Yeah. So there you have it. The actual Astrologian look. But, yeah, let's get back to actual gear here. So, yeah, that wraps up the Astrologian quest. However, Celestial Opposition restores their own HP and the HP of all nearby party members. Nocturnal Sect effect, region. Nocturnal Sect effect, erects a magic barrier which nullifies damage equaling 125% of the amount of HP restored. So, it is an instant AoE heal. Also, it gives our Sect effect. So, much like this, it is very handy if you need, like, heal like that. Like, with unconsciousness, collective unconscious is good for preventing damage off an AoE. Opposition is good to follow up after the AoE. Be like, boom, healed. Ta-da! Yeah. So, anyway, I should do the Hall of the Novice, but I'm not going to. Yeah, so that wraps up the Astrologian quest. Yay! So yeah, thank you for watching the Astrologian quest. I guess I will have another one of these for the Stormblood series of Astrologian quests. Thankfully, they have learned, and the only ability actually tied to a quest is the level 71. Thankfully. So I don't have to worry about that until the end. It's just a big rush at the end. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I don't know how long it is, but if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps us keep making content like this and more. You can find the links for that in the description below. Links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt signing out.